Come on, guys, let's go. No handshake, straight into it.
In fact, on this day, just 3 years ago, Wigan won 1-0 at Bristol City in the old second division. Just look at them now, facing Arsenal in a Carling Cup semi-final. Well, Wigan make 7 changes from the side that drew with Leeds in the FA Cup. Most of their big hitters are recalled, although Henri Camara is at the African Nations Cup and he'll be missed. The squad is somewhat stretched after Alan Mann and Ryan Taylor joined the list of injured on Saturday. Indeed, Paul Jewell only has 15 fit outfield players. New signing Paul Scharner makes the bench. Stefan Onsho won the League Cup twice with Liverpool, but nobody else has come too close to it.
Well, it's 4-4-2 for Paul Jewell tonight, and yes, they are quick, the front two of Arsenal, but Enchos and Dzeu, very, very experienced. They hardly ever get run. They don't rely on their fullbacks to get them out of trouble either. They'll stay deep, use their experience. It's in midfield where I quite like Paul Jewell's side, because Teal, Bullard, Kavanagh and McCullough absolutely work their socks off. They chase, they harry, and they can play as well when they get the ball, which will be important because Connolly likes the ball to his feet, who's playing up front alongside Roberts. Roberts relies on his strength and his pace, and he's doing his best in front of goal as well this season.
Well, among the Arsenal absentees, Henry, Dires, Bergkamp, Campbell and Robin van Persie, who broke a toe against Cardiff. Reinforcements have been called for, though. Freddie Ljungberg plays his first League Cup tie for over 7 years. Still room for a couple of 18-year-olds at the back in Kerry Gilbert and Johan Djourou. Quincy Owusu-Abbey returned as a sub at the weekend from a knee injury suffered in the quarter-final at Doncaster.
Well, if you're Paul Jewell and looking at the Arsenal team sheet, the one thing you do is look at that back four and you think we've got a chance there. So that's what he'll be saying to Roberts and Connolly. You've got to get at them. You've got to show your strength, your power, and make them feel uncomfortable from the word go. It's in midfield where they're just every bit as good as Wigan in midfield. Ljungberg, Flamini, Gilberto and Taleb. If they play, they're very, very good. Ljungberg, as we know, will join in with the attack at every opportunity. Owusu-Abbey and Reyes, pace and the skill of Reyes could open up Wigan at will.
Well, Gilberto's very, very last gasp equaliser at Doncaster kept Arsenal in this competition. They went through on penalties, but it could so easily have been Doncaster here tonight, and their fans might have swelled the crowd. Jason Roberts grew up supporting Spurs, as if he needed more incentive tonight to see off their North London rivals. He says he is raring to go. With a little help from Dave Whelan, Paul Jewell has propelled Wigan into the Premiership and into a cup semi-final. Just when they think it can't get much better here, it tends to. 3 titles, 4 FA Cups, but no League Cup for Arsene Wenger yet. In fact, he's not even reached the final. It's never been high on his list of priorities, but with the Premiership crown out of reach, it's a bit more important now. Howard Webb is the man in charge. It is the first of the Carling Cup semi-finals. Blackburn Rovers, Manchester United to come tomorrow. Tonight, Wigan against the only side in the last 4 not from the northwest, Arsenal.
It'll be all about the start as far as Wigan are concerned, because most of the games at the JJB Stadium, they've started unbelievable, quick, sharp, into the tackle. The opposition haven't known what's hit them for the first 10 or 15 minutes.
Wigan Athletic are about to kick off. It's their very first major cup semi-final. It is Arsenal's 41st major cup semi-final. Wigan have yet to concede a goal in this competition this season. You suspect Arsenal might have something to say about that. Jimmy Bullard, a rather loose back pass after he lost control initially. Reyes very deep, Hleb with a touch, Senderos, Ljungberg, and Owusu Abe also starting for the first time since the quarter-final at Doncaster.
Well, if he starts down the middle, he's got to hold the ball. Can't be thinking about flicking stuff on. It's important. Reyes will rely on him to hold stuff up and then try and play him in, as he'll try to do for him if the situations are reversed.
Arsenal haven't travelled well this season, but one of their 2 away wins in the Premiership came here at the JJB in November. Inspired by Thierry Henry, they edged a 5-goal thriller. All the goals came in the first half. Flamini for Hleb. Pascal Sigon. Now Owusu Abe, who was groomed by Ajax initially, and now being looked after by Arsenal. Can't think of too many better places to learn your trade.
Well, just looking at Arsene Wenger's formation, Owusu Abe is going to be playing up front on his own. Freddie Ljungberg's going to play that right-hand side position. Reyes will be on the left-hand side. Obviously, it's a 4-3-3 so-called, or 4-5-1 when you're defending.
Gilberto for Sigon. Reyes has been not called actually by Chimbonda. He looked for the free kick, but Howard Webb having none of it. Sigon soon stopped Chimbonda in his tracks. Now Kavanagh has won it back. Here's Bullard. Chimbonda still in a very advanced position. But Wigan coming out to the other side. Dzeu offside. Jason Roberts.
Well, that's exactly what he wants, Jason Roberts. Just you play that ball into the space in between the back line and the goalkeeper. Already, as you can see, it looks as if he's onside when that ball was actually played. Sigon, the player who played him off, but that's exactly what he wants. You can see him acknowledging Dzeu and saying, yeah, just keep popping them in.
Almunia seeking out Reyes.
Well, one thing they've done, Arsenal, I know it's early days in the game, but it's making it a bitty game as far as Wigan are concerned. They've started really well at home, seem to swamp the opposition, but it's just been broken up every couple of seconds.
Gilbert. And Senderos, one of 3 Swiss centre-halves on show tonight. Juru alongside him. On show, the other end. Kavanagh. Bullard. Connolly. Bullard takes over. Roberts already calling for it, and Bullard overhits it. Sigon having to turn it away from Thiel. Kavanagh runs into Gilberto. Alexander Hleb for Quincy Owusu Abe.
Just in too much of a hurry to get rid of stuff, Abe, at the moment.
Well, he saw that pass coming from Kavanagh. Now Freddie Ljungberg.
Terrific interception from Dzeu. One thing we know about Arsenal is they can play in tight little spaces.
Dzeu, who returned to Wigan for a second spell from Portsmouth. Been a popular player wherever he's gone. Hleb. Ljungberg furthest forward, and a rather unusual experience for him tonight. Freddie Ljungberg's first League Cup tie since 1998. Bullard. DeZeo. Steve McMillan chasing this. No Leighton Baines in that left-back role for Wigan tonight. He has a hamstring problem.
Well, I can see Paul Jewell's tactics already. He's seen that they're playing a reasonably high line. Arsenal just drop that ball in behind them, or try to keep it within the confines of the pitch, I suppose, rather than letting it go out of play.
Probably proving to be a pest and earning a corner for Wigan. An early opportunity for Jimmy Bullard to ask some questions from this corner. Lee McCulloch always a threat in these situations. Bullard sends it in, it went over McCulloch. Kavanagh. Teal. Kavanagh. Bullard. Nice touch from Kavanagh. And offside against Jason Roberts.
Well, they're keeping a good line, Arsenal. That's one thing for certain. They seem quite prepared to let Jason Roberts stand in behind them.
Jason Roberts scored both goals in the quarter-final win over Bolton here. In fact, throughout his career, the League Cup has been one of his favourite competitions for goals. Flamini now for Freddie Ljungberg. Arsenal could go ahead, but Ljungberg blazes it over whilst under pressure.
Oh, he's just leaning back. You can see the ooh on his face there. Basically, he knows it's a great opportunity, but just as he's about to get the ball, you've got to give McMillan credit, because he sticks with him the whole way, and then that ball's bouncing. It just bounces before he can get the strike in. Freddie Ljungberg just watch it, just set up, and he goes with it.
What a rare outing in the League Cup competition, but almost a goal. And there haven't been too many goals for Ljungberg this campaign. Chimbonda. Chimbonda again. Gary Teal might just latch onto this, but Almunia alert.
Great position, starting position from the goalkeeper. It's exactly what you want when you're playing such a high line and there's that space between the back line and the keeper. He's got to be on the edge of his box, and he was there.
Kerry Gilbert's throw. Here's Gilbert again, who hasn't made his Premiership debut yet. McMillan. Offside, Connolly this time.
I tell you what, they're gambling, they're dicing, they're relying on their goalkeeper's position as well, and they're just hoping. Once again, that's very, very tight. Not sure it's offside. Trigger Happy, the assistant on that far side, but look at the goalkeeper's position. Needs to be good, Almunia's. It's been superb so far, and even if Connolly had been on, he'd have got the ball.
You got to carry on with your job, please.
Chimbonda underneath. That. There's a bit of a bubble for Steve McMillan then. They relayed this pitch 3 weeks ago. To the wears and tears of a rugby season.
I think this is a good start from Arsenal. Bullard's the one who's trying to turn it around for Paul Dewell's side. Busy, sharp into the challenge. The rest of them not got going really yet.
Lundberg. Gilbert. Flamini.
Well, he's the weak link at the moment. Obey. Owusu Obey just gives the ball away, can't hold it up. Arsenal might consider changing him as the man in the middle of the three.
Gilberto and David Connolly quickly in on him. That's trickled out. It's a Wigan throw.
Just down on the touchline now, Arsene Wenger just saying to Owusu Obey, just stay up the middle, stay on the centre-backs. You don't need to come deep.
Deseu. Lee McCulloch will certainly fancy a bit of that. Always full of aerial promise for Wigan. Gleb. Kavanagh nipping in ahead of Owusu Obey. When Wigan go to Highbury for the second leg in a fortnight, it'll be the first time they've played away in this competition this season. Home ties against Bournemouth, Watford, Newcastle and Bolton. It's going to be an Arsenal throw, whether Wigan like it or not.
What's he given? Is he given a foul?
I don't think Kerry Gilbert was too short. Arsenal joined this competition a round later, of course, because of their European involvement. They saw off Sunderland and Reading fairly comfortably, but nearly got put out by Doncaster in that incredible quarter-final.
Well, they've already started 50 times better than they have against Doncaster. Maybe that's taking the credit away from the way Doncaster started the game, but certainly seem to be quite comfortable out there at the moment.
Gleb. Owusu Obey not given a moment's peace by Stefan Homscho.
I'm just looking at him, he's not used to playing up there, and I don't think he knows exactly what's required at the moment.
McCulloch. Jose Antonio Reyes. Intercepted by McMillan.
Well, he's changed it around, Arsene Wenger. I didn't think it'd be long. They spotted it from the side. Owusu Obey is now on the left, and Reyes is down the centre.
Connolly with the flick. Senderos with the clearance. And there's a flag up for offside here against Reyes. Took a while for everyone to work out what was given. Homscho. Now, did that take a faint touch off Gilbert? McCulloch giving it a go, but it didn't look too likely. Deseu. Reyes.
What a difference in one touch already. Having said that, McCulloch brought it back for Wigan. But that's all they need, that man up front on his own, just to keep playing somebody in Arsenal. And Owusu will be a lot happier on that left-hand side.
Here he is now, the young Dutchman. but he was soon crowded out. Kavanagh. Into Sigon's territory. Gilberto. Up and under from McCulloch. Connolly in the hunt, and Joru wasn't too sure about it. Here's Gary Teal. Teal's cross and Roberts' header.
As you said, Joru, that one that he lets bounce makes it difficult for himself, and he actually pushes Connolly. Just watch when it bounces here. The arms come out, just hardly any contact whatsoever. But this isn't a great header from Roberts. Not easy. It's difficult. No pace on the ball.
Swiss under 19 international. Alongside a full Swiss international tonight, Senderos.
Well, he's young, he's learning the game. He doesn't have experience alongside him. Makes it even harder for him.
Talking of Swiss defenders, Stefan Onsho crunched in there on Lundberg, who stayed down.
Well, he went with 2 feet. Stefan Onsho went with 2 feet. That's why Lundberg, you can see, is very, very unhappy with the referee.
The kicks from Pollitt.
Well, just watch Stefan Onsho as he goes down on his bum and he just slides in with 2 feet. I understand Freddie Lundberg not being too happy about the challenge, but at the end of the day he got the ball.
Senderos. Reyes. Flamini and Lundberg making moves into the box. Reyes picking out Quincy Owusu-Agbay. Awkward for him though, as it gathered pace.
He's having one of those days at the moment, the poor young lad. Just needs a ball in space, just to have time to control it and pass it sideways, just give an easy ball just to get himself into the game. He doesn't mind his youngsters expressing themselves, and he'll give him time. There won't be a knee-jerk reaction to bring him off or anything like that.
Roberts. McMillan gives it back to Jason Roberts. Bullard. Chimbonda has been an absolute revelation. Bullard, who hasn't been too bad either and has been linked with other Premiership clubs. Most notably Middlesbrough and Manchester City.
It's not a classic so far, but if you're Arsene Wenger, you're quite happy so far.
Lee McCulloch just took a knock a moment ago. Flamini now for Gilbert. Reyes takes over. Sigon for Owusu-Agbay. Gilberto.
It's more like it from the lad. He'll be a little bit more confident after that one.
Not after that one. Chimbonda. Kavanagh. Offside, Jason Roberts.
They've just got to be better with their passing. If Wigan are better with their passing, the forwards will get in. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And that assistant on that far side will keep that flag down at some stage.
Peter Kirkup is the assistant referee. Gilberto. Flamini for Gilbert. Lee McCulloch is really struggling for Wigan. And that will be a big loss to them if he has to go off. Gilbert now for Lundberg. And Flamini has got it all wrong, but Wigan are going to have to make an early change, and one of their key players, Lee McCulloch, has failed to recover from that knock, it seems.
That's a massive blow for Paul to lose him, not just as far as tonight's game's concerned, but for the Premiership and the FA Cup replay against Leeds.
He's just asked for a couple of minutes to see if he can run it off, McCulloch. But it doesn't look too likely that he can continue. Quincy Owusu-Abe for Reyes, and Dzeu charging in. Jimmy Bullard has got the free kick.
Yeah, he had to get the free kick. Gilbert just pushed him in the back. It was bouncing in the air. It's just up, just about to bounce over his head, but he just got a little nudge in the back there.
Well, I think Lee McCulloch's okay, but David Connolly is now struggling, and it's he who is going to have to be replaced. So Wigan keeping McCulloch on for the time being, but it's Connolly who is injured. And of course, with Henri Camara away with Senegal, they're a bit short of strikers. It's going to be Andreas Johansson, the Swede, who's coming on.
This is exactly what Paul Jewell didn't want. Injuries, any more injuries to his small squad. And we'll be hoping that Lee McCulloch can shake that injury off as well.
David Connolly has a hamstring problem, and that leaves Paul Jewell and Chris Hutchings with only 14 fit outfield players at the moment. They will need McCulloch to shake off his knock. What an opportunity here, though, for Wigan. It's Graham Kavanagh trying to catch on Mooney out, but the keeper got across just in the nick of time.
Well, he gave him something to aim for. The goalkeeper said to Graham Kavanagh, there's the space to the right-hand side of me, try and aim for it. He duly obliged. Just look at his starting position, the goalkeeper, look at that. Go on, aim for it, and then with the tricky ones that just bounce in front of your hands and catch you out, but Almunia does enough.
Well, Wigan have pushed Lee McCulloch up front for now, but he still doesn't look terribly comfortable. McCulloch moving in to partner Roberts, with Johansson playing on the left. Wigan's squad already stretched before the game, stretched a bit more now. Gilbert was caught then by Johansson, but advantage played. Not that it turned into much of one for Arsenal. Jimmy Bullard, Chimbonda typically racing down that side.
He didn't have too many options, Jimmy Bullard. He's looking just to drop that ball over the back line of Arsenal, but Lee McCulloch, with that slight injury, not interested.
McCulloch still not moving freely, but it would be a massive blow if Wigan were forced into two changes in the first half.
Well, he's gone up front alongside Jason Roberts now, and Johansson's gone into midfield.
Alexander Hleb. Lundberg. Gilberto. Kleb. Chimbonda muscles in. He's hoping that it's going to carry. It does.
There's a lot to like about Pascal Chimbonda since he's been in the Premiership this season. His desire to run up and down that right-hand side and get in the box has been a feature of some of Wigan's play.
Macmillan, Johansson, McCulloch and Roberts. No foul by Senderos.
Now the reason why there's no foul, because it's 6-1 and half a dozen the other. You watch Jason Roberts first try and muscle Senderos out of the way in the first place, but the big lad just stood his ground.
Seagon. Owusu Abbey. The race is on between him and Chimbonda, and it's a trip on Chimbonda.
Well, let's have a look at Jason Roberts and Senderos as this ball comes through. 6-1, half a dozen, pushing and shoving. Didn't quite see the Jason Roberts part in that one, but I can tell you there was.
Jason Roberts still protesting about that with Howard Webb. It's been a rather cagey Cup semi so far. Stefan Oncho. Roberts too high for him. McCulloch making a dart, but it was always going to carry to Almunia. He's been a Carling Cup regular this season and who saved 2 penalties in that incredible shootout of Doncaster.
Well, there's been a third change now. Freddie Lundberg is now the middleman in that 3.
Here's Flamini though, and Oncho in the way, and just as well for Wigan. Yes, everybody's getting a go in that central role.
I think Arsene Wenger just wants that middleman to try and hold the ball up and get other people involved in the game. And to be fair to Reyes, I thought some of the balls up to him were poor. Maybe they'll be slightly better towards Lundberg. But what a challenge that was by Stefan Unchos. Just throwing himself in the way, you know. Kleb does really well, gets himself half a chance, and just watch this for magnificent defending. Just get yourself in the way of the ball.
McCulloch useful in the air again, setting up Jason Roberts, who was up against Senderos once more.
Well, he is slightly impeded that time by Senderos. Just watch him trying to get through, and he does just enough, Senderos, to put him off. The referee doesn't deem it as a foul. There's that left arm, comes across. Roberts then can't get away from him.
Some contest between those two, and Roberts with a bit more to say.
Well, that time he had a point, basically. He didn't do anything wrong.
Seagon. Senderos. Gilbert. Reyes unable to sneak away past Macmillan, and Kavanagh had to be sharp then, and he was. They won't settle. Approaching the half-hour mark in the first leg of this Carling Cup semi. Second leg in a fortnight. The final is at the end of February. Who will be walking out at the Millennium Stadium, I wonder? Wigan or Arsenal? Blackburn or Manchester United? Incidentally, the Wigan chairman, Dave Whelan, isn't here tonight. He's on holiday in Barbados. Got to be done, I suppose. but is being kept in touch by club officials with everything that's going on via text.
He'll be watching it on Sky, won't he?
Probably somewhere. Teal.
Well, the game's not really got going.
Oh, Lee McCulloch has signalled that he can't carry on, and that's going to be another blow for Wigan, who don't have any other strikers on the bench, but Gary Teal has played up there before in his career.
That's your worst nightmare as a manager for Paul Jewell. But as you say, the chairman might provide some funds this month to bring in 1 or 2 new faces.
Stray one from Joru. Well, Paul Jewell forced into a second change, having already lost David Connolly through injury. He's now going to give a debut to the Austrian defender Paul Scharner, but it's going to mean another rejig. And Roberts retaliating, and Howard Webb will want a word.
Well, what he's basically saying is the referee's not taking charge of the situation with Senderos. I'm going to take the law into my own hands.
Ticking off for Jason Roberts, and a second substitution already for Wigan. Already beset by injuries and the absence of Henri Camara, who's on international duty. David Connolly is trudged off, now Lee McCulloch goes off, and there's a debut for the Austrian Paul Scharner, who is quite a character. As you can see, he's got Wigan colours in his hair already. A bit of a hard man by all accounts. Paul Jewell picked Birmingham to sign him, and Scharner actually supported Arsenal as a kid.
Well, he's gone into central midfield, just alongside Kavanagh, and Jimmy Bullard will play just off Jason Roberts with his energy. He'll get up and he'll get back, don't worry about that.
Paul Jewell's best laid plans rather wrecked already though by injuries to Connolly and McCulloch. Dave Winnan will be looking for his checkbook in Barbados at this rate. Scharner on his debut, that would have been some introduction to English football.
Well, he saw the headlines, didn't he, when it was bouncing up. He saw the goalkeeper's position here and thought, well, he's not in too much of a hurry to run back in his goal, why not try it? But didn't quite make a good connection.
Well, the second semi-final is tomorrow from 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. We're at Ewood Park for Blackburn Rovers against Manchester United. The Northwest dominating the semi-final lineup. Arsenal flying the flag for London and the South. Quincy Owusu-Agbay, handball shout from the fans. Roberts holding off Senderos.
Smack in the mouth there as well.
Bullard and Scharner got himself into the box.
Oh, it's a terrific ball from Jimmy Bullard. Bags of quality, that lad. Just watch the pace of it and the ball as well. When McCulloch and Connolly were on the pitch, they would have died for a ball like that. But give Scharner his credit. He tried his best to get up there.
Scharner, who played against Northern Ireland and England for Austria earlier this season, and in fact gave away a penalty against England for a foul on Michael Owen. Lee McCulloch has a groin injury, and David Connolly a hamstring. Bullard. Gary Teal might just take this up. If he can get to it, he can. Roberts and Johansson have got themselves into the box. Can Teal get it in there? He can. Johansson was lurking and Gilbert had to head it behind.
Yeah, well done, Gilbert. Good position for him, really. Once again, a tremendous ball into the box.
Wigan fans making a big noise as Bullard swings it in, and Arian Dzeu with the header. Oncho.
Jimmy Bullard relishing that little role that Paul Jewell's just given him. So much stamina, the lad, and quality as well. Very much underrated before this season. Now people have seen his quality.
Is he gone? Chimbonda gets the free kick. He has quickly become a cult hero in these parts, Pascal Chimbonda.
You've got to admire his desire. That's the thing I like about him. He's not content to sit back and hold his position. He wants to be involved.
Shana. Johansson chasing. Almunia's header is off his line, but Bullard has plenty to do yet.
Goalkeeping is all about decision making, and he's got most of them right tonight, Almunia. The one thing he does when he comes, he doesn't hold back at all.
Gilberto. Roberts. Bullard. Flamini won it back. Now Reyes. Owusu Abe is going to reach this. Alexander Kleber's got himself into the box, but Oncho covering for Wigan. Owusu Abe tries again, and it was pretty close to Johansson's hand, that.
It looked as if it hit his right arm for me. It looks as if he's taking it away as the ball hits it. But referee Howard Webb was close enough.
Howard Webb never want to rush into showing yellow cards, but he will want at the very least a word here with Kleb.
Oh, this looked to me as if it hit Johansson's right hand as he's trying to take the ball away. No, not at all. Well done, the referee, off his thigh.
Dzeu's free kick. Steve Bruce was gutted to lose out on Paul Shana. Looked for a long time like he would be going to Birmingham, but he was soon sold on the idea of Wigan.
Well, it looks like they've had a change again. Reyes is on the left, Owusu Abe back down the centre, and Lundberg on the right hand side. Obviously all of them have been as bad as each other when they've been down that centre.
Changes every 5 minutes, that. Senderos. And Giroud not really making moves up. Mike Pollitt didn't get to it. Came a long way for it. Back in by Gilberto.
Well, does Gilberto take his eye off the ball? Because the goalkeeper comes out, the left arm's up, the right arm's up, he misses it. This is a chance, half chance. Better in the air than that, Gilberto.
Arsenal don't seem to be in much of a hurry to take this corner. Reyes has taken a very long, slow walk over. Reyes delivers them, but Pollitt does grab that one.
Yeah, that's good goalkeeping.
Straight out by Stefan Oncho. 3 bobbles around this pitch.
That's just the way things have been going tonight. We haven't seen the best of either side in terms of quality.
Wigan losing 2 more players to injury, and of course they have a pretty busy schedule. An FA Cup replay to come next Tuesday, which you can also see on Sky Sports. It's at Leeds. Teal, stopped by Senderos. There's only been 1 effort on target in this first half so far. Graham Kavanagh's free kick. Chances few and far between as the half draws to a close. In fact, not so much few and far between as fairly non-existent.
Yeah, the game's been broken up the whole time, either by Wigan players when Arsenal are in possession or the other way around.
It's gone out. Jimmy Bullard will be pegged back.
Well, he won't be happy. He'll know that his players haven't started the game tonight. The injuries will make it even a worse night for him so far, but you just know at half-time he will get into them and demand more from what he's seeing. Arsene Wenger, on the other hand, might be quite content and happy that it's a nothing game.
Well, that kind of sums up much of this first half. From Senderos straight out. We are in the last minute of normal time. Arsenal getting it together here though, and Freddie Ljungberg, Pollitt reacting well.
Well, that's what Arsenal do when they're quick, they run. Stefan Onchos is the man who plays Ljungberg onside, on that left-hand side, and well, we talked about goalkeeper decision-making early on, anticipation and interception, and Pollitt's was spot on.
Oh, a free kick for Jason Roberts, who was up against Giroud that time. It's going to be just a single minute added on in this first half. Bullard, Shimbonda. Some tackle by Shana to rescue that, and he might get it back here. He does. Rather Lazy volley from Shimonda at the end of it, though. Arsenal almost caught out from Almunia's throw. Onsho sends it back to Pollitt. Hooked on by Roberts, but away by Senderos. Not many openings for either side, as if it's not hard enough coming up against Arsenal. Paul Jewell's plans severely disrupted by first half injuries to David Connolly and Lee McCulloch at round about the same time. McCulloch tried gamely to battle on, but was unable to. Half-time in this Carling Cup semi-final at the JJB. It's Wigan 0, Arsenal 0. Well, this is only the second meeting between Wigan and Arsenal. The first was in the Premiership here in November, and there were 5 goals in the first half then. Not much sign of one in the first half we've just seen. Arsenal, of course, have home advantage in the second leg in a fortnight. Here come Wigan, who've already lost David Connolly with a hamstring injury, and Lee McCulloch with a groin problem. Ryan Taylor and Alan Mahon were injured on Saturday. Leighton Baines also out. All good news for West Brom, really, who come here in the Premiership at the weekend. Paul Jewell would have had a fair bit to say, that's for sure.
That was interesting. Flamini going round to 3 or 4 players and saying, look, this is what we need to do. We need to move around and let's get involved. Let's get the ball passed. He's a better player than he's shown already tonight, and he obviously wants to get on the ball to prove that. There he goes again. Just think about passing it, moving it.
Well, there was so little created in the first half. What can we expect of this second half at the JJB Stadium? The Carling Cup semi-finals, pitching Wigan with Arsenal and Blackburn with Manchester United. And the potential, of course, for the United-Arsenal meeting at the Millennium Stadium, but Wigan and Blackburn will have plenty to say about that, that's for sure. It's bounced off Gary Teal. Again for Reyes. Teal getting involved. Shimonda.
Looks like a tactical change for Paul Jewell. Andreas Johansson has gone up alongside Jason Roberts, and Jimmy Bullard just concentrating on his midfield role.
Shimonda's throw gets it back from Roberts.
The manager said to them, get yourselves into this game almost immediately. I would imagine that's what Paul Jewell has said to his side. They look to be in a little bit more of a hurry than they were in the early stages of the first 45 minutes.
Shana, one of the first half substitutes, and making his debut for Wigan. Here's Onsho, 2-time League Cup winner with Liverpool. Kavanagh. And Shimonda's going to chase that. Segon having to deal with it, but it's going to be a corner. Jimmy Bullard is the man to take it. Deseu and Shimbonda both in there. Now Gary Teal. Steve McMillan. No contact for either Hleb or Bullard, although Hleb did make contact with Bullard.
Well, he's foot's high. I'm really surprised the assistant on this far side didn't flag for dangerous play.
Reyes. Teal. Teal's cross is a good one, but it's met by Joru. Kavanagh.
In the space of 3 minutes, there's a massive improvement from Wigan. The quicker, they're sharper. There's more desire about them.
Teal. Johansson nearby. Teal gets away from Gilberto. Over the head of Jason Roberts. Bullard left with plenty to do. He's got McMillan available. Shimbonda. Almunia will have that.
He's done okay tonight, him. He'll be proud of his night's work so far. Not too many saves to make, but decision making, everything's been okay.
Deseu. Roberts with a flick on. Hoisted away by Senderos. And put too much venom in that from Oncho. Paul Jewell with 2 promotions in the last 3 seasons and now on the brink of a cup final. Alongside Chris Hutchins, his assistant.
He'll be a lot happier than what he's seeing now, what he saw in that first 45 minutes. Good response from his players.
Kavanagh selling Teal short. Reyes. Teal giving him a hard time. He's not going to get a free kick for that. And Shimbonda steps in after Teal's grafting. McMillan. He's done well to pick out Bullard. Shana. Shimbonda. Another bubble perhaps. He'll certainly claim as much. Wusu Abe. Lundberg's in a decent position. Hleb. And Wusu Abe eventually found Lundberg, but Oncho composed.
And that's his best contribution of the match, Wusu Abe. Arsene Wenger's obviously had a chance to talk to him at half-time about the position he's playing. He started up that middle, and his first touch has been impressive.
Reyes is centre, easy for Mike Pollett, who has only come up against Arsenal once before in his career, and that was when he was at Rotherham in this competition. He got sent off at Highbury. Jason Roberts holding it up and sending it for Johansson, and Roberts again, and it's Pascal Sigon to the rescue.
Oh, Johansson's got to hit it. Jason Roberts wasn't even interested in getting the ball back. He was so surprised. He'd given up. He was hoping to see the goalkeeper have to make a save or the ball bounce into the back of the net. And Johansson, obviously not played alongside him ever before, looking for his partner. Well, this is a chance. I mean, the ball from Bullard to begin with is fantastic. Just what Jason Roberts likes. Senderos this time can't get involved. Beautiful little back flick. Hit it now. That's what he wanted. And then he's surprised to see it come back to him, Roberts.
Still bemoaning the fact. Sixth facing fifth in the terms of the Premiership tonight. But it's the Carling Cup that these teams are eyeing, and a place in the final at the end of February at the Millennium Stadium. Kleb tripped by Kavanagh. Bullard. Cut out by Sigon. Here's Reyes with a dainty touch. Stefan Oncho getting stuck in. Nice kick from Chimbonda. Oh dear, the lights have gone out at the JJB Stadium.
It's actually a decent game now. Look at the movement, it's absolutely unbelievable.
A floodlight failure. And they have all gone out. No sign of an immediate return. The second half not that old, and we are left in the dark. Well, Arsene Wenger bemused, and both sets of players coming across. I don't think those lights are going to be sufficient somehow.
Jimmy Bullard just ran the full length of the pitch if he wondered what the roar was, but then knocked it over the crossbar.
Well, Howard Webb having words with the two managers, and Wigan will be desperately hoping for a quick fix here. They were already rather embarrassed by the poor turnout tonight. Just over 12,000 watching at the JJB. It's less than half full, which is pretty poor really for a cup semi-final, even allowing for the fact that there have been a lot of games lately. Now to add to Wigan's embarrassment, the floodlights are off.
I'm sure Alec will be in the ground, electrician, and we'll soon sort it out.
Well, the players are going off. There has been no quick fix of the floodlights here, and the players making their way back to the dressing room. And of course, at this rate, they might need another warm-up if the lights are fixed. Wigan and Arsenal left in the dark by the whole thing, and it appears there will be a fair delay here, because that is the way it looks or doesn't look at the JJB.
Well, it's amazing to see them all go out in one hit like that. I thought in the new stadiums to be on separate generators.
Wigan very proud of their JJB Stadium in the main, but every single floodlight has popped off, and that is a worry, not just a part failure. Any lights in the stand there are on, but no floodlights. And we will endeavour to get news of what might happen here as Wigan look to sort it out. We hear that there's actually a power failure around the town as well, not just here at the JJB.
Oh, so the lights on the concourse are with the club's own generator.
You should have been an electrician, I'll tell you. That's the first word anyway from Wigan tonight. I'm sure we will hear a bit more soon, but this Carling Cup semi-final held up by a floodlight failure.
I knew we'd have a story here tonight anyway.
JJB Stadium. Left in the dark, and I don't think that's going to work, mate. The second half was just 9 minutes old. Looks like it could be a lengthy delay as well, but let's hope that they do eventually get it sorted. So, no play at the moment at the JJB. So back to Niall Quinn and Ian Payne.
Thanks very much indeed, Ian. Well, every time we do a Carling Cup tie on Sky Sports this season, we've had a shock. That's the first electrical one we've had. Let's talk about the football first of all.
Yeah.
Wigan have to score, don't they? If we are to finish this tonight.
And in fairness to them, they started to get better. I think the second half was better as far as they were concerned. And going down to Arsenal with a goal is so important to them. 0-0, you would fear, that Arsenal could just turn the show on. But, if they've got something to hold on to, something that team spirit that we see so often, something that it'll really cherish and go after, then it'll be a different second leg. But I feel for them. This came at a bad time for Wigan. I thought they would just not let it around.
I'm just about to ask you that. Do you feel that they were getting into their stride and they'll be disappointed more than Arsenal?
I do, because we actually heard a few oohs from the crowd because the ball was being flung into the box. There was numbers getting in there. They got a few passes together. The ball was being spread around a lot better. And then all of a sudden the lights go out. So hopefully they can regroup, gather themselves together if and when the lights do come back.
Right, it's replay time. What happened next? Here we are. What minute were we in? Not very many. 54. Back pass. Keeper Pollitt. Thinking what to do with it. Paper blowing. Lights blown. That's that. So, if you're just tuning in, then the latest score is 0-0 between Wigan and Arsenal in the semi-final first leg of the Carling Cup. Very little has happened apart from the fact that the lights have gone out and we're waiting to find out exactly what is the problem. We understand that there's a power cut in the area, but we'll try and find out exactly what the situation is. In the meantime, Niall Quinn is here. We'll think of a few things to talk about. Has that ever happened to you?
Not quite, no. I've been taken off in situations before as a group of players for crowd trouble. Internationally, I remember Ireland, England, that happened and we were in the dressing room for half an hour and the game eventually didn't go ahead. Man City in the Cup, the FA Cup against Spurs one time, it was a long delays, but I never had light failure, no.
And as we were saying before, it can disrupt one team more than another, can it?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, hopefully they'll get back on track quite soon, but I think there's a danger here if you have a 20-minute spell, the players all getting a little bit stiff and lethargic inside in the dressing rooms, and then you come back out and they don't play the same, that same tempo and that same sort of pace that they started the second half off. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's one of those things. I mean, if it's a failure in the whole of Wigan, I mean, there's nobody can be blamed really. It's one of those things, but I think it's helped Arsenal out.
All right, let's try and find out some more details of what's going on. The referee Howard Webb is with Fraser Robertson.
Howard, what is the latest situation?
Well, we've been told by the safety officer that there's a power cut all over the Wigan area, so obviously that's affected the lights here. We're anticipating that the lights may well be back on within 10 minutes. That's just the guidance that's been given to me by the safety officer. Obviously, if the lights do come back on within 10 minutes, then the players will want a bit of a time to warm back up, and we'll give them that 2-3 minutes, whatever the teams decide they need, and then we'll get back started hopefully as soon as possible with the ball back with Mike Pollitt.
What have both managers said to you about it?
We discussed whether to leave the players out there or to bring them back in. They both decided they want to bring the players back in. They can have a talk to them, get some fluid inside them, and obviously we'll give them a knock as and when. But we have updated them. We've told them that we're looking at 10 minutes, but we're in the hands of the electricians and the safety people here to get it back on again, and hopefully the sooner the better for all of us.
Have you been involved in a game when the lights have gone out before? How disruptive can it be?
Not personally, no. It's a new one for me, this is, so I was as surprised as everybody when the lights went down. But obviously you've just got to go with it and be guided by the experts, and hopefully they'll get the thing back on as soon as possible.
Thanks, Howard.
OK, thank you.
That's the latest thing. What is it, Niall, about electricians in the northwest this season? Because Alex Ferguson was complaining about one at Bolton, wasn't he, tongue-in-cheek? We believe that the lights are actually coming back on. There we are, those weren't on before. So slowly, one by one, the lights are coming back on, and hopefully the match will be on. There they are. That's a bit better, isn't it? That's a lot brighter. We were saying before that Wigan, after their half-time team talk, they know now, if they didn't know before, they have to take something to Highbury, don't they? Because the big guns are ready to come on for Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, listening to the manager before the game, he said he wanted to be in the game when it goes down to Highbury. If that meant a draw and it was still, you know, one of those games where, you know, it was a 1-1 here or 2-2 here, that was fine, he'd take that. But I just think the way the game has developed tonight, he'll be disappointed with his team that they haven't gone and had chances. And I guess the half-time team talk was a little bit different to the start, where it was, hey, come on, lads, let's go and see if we can get a goal here now. Just put more pressure on them. And I think it was beginning to show. I mean, Arsenal hacking a few clear. There was a couple of corner kicks for Wigan, and I just feel now, you know, in this little brief moment they'll have together again, I feel sure it'll be the same message. Come on now, we've got them a little bit on the rack, and let's start just as quickly as we did after the half-time whistle.
For you, I know they're obviously tired, Wigan, and they've got a small squad. For you, was it an un-Wigan-like performance?
Yeah, first half, I think so. I mean, listen, I'm going to back these lads to the hilt. I've watched them all season. I think they've been absolutely fantastic. But things do catch up with you. Terrible injuries as they've had, lots and lots of games. And the manager, you know, he cannot fault them. Their attitude, their effort is first class. And they upped it again at half-time, knowing probably that they didn't do themselves justice in the first half.
And you can see there that many of the players, certainly the Wigan players, have got their tracksuit tops on, so they'll be going through the warm-up all over again now, will they?
Yeah, I found it really hard when I played to do one warm-up, but fair play to them.
They'll go a long way to stretch.
Well, they'll go out and they'll get themselves limbered up again. You know, it could be a memorable game now for somebody, you know, who scored the winner against Arsenal the night the lights went out.
In the first half, we didn't have too many chances, did we? We talked a little bit about the Wigan free kick that Kavanagh had. We also talked a little bit about some of the opportunities they were making. I mean, I suppose you could say Lundberg's was the best chance, wasn't it?
Lundberg, maybe the game. Yeah, the game might have been a lot different because that was early on. But in truth, you know, we found it hard to give much credit for the way the forwards were playing. Both sets of forwards were finding it hard to link up with midfield players, and he looked dejected by it all. And I'm sure, you know, he's feeling the strain of all these matches, but he's got a team that, you know, that their focus is incredible, and their desire to help each other, to give every last ounce for him and the club, is immense. And you know, I'm expecting him to do the same in the second half now, even though the odds are always stacked against him. He's down to the bare bones, injuries, everything else. I mean, Wigan are a credit, and I hope they finish this tie tonight. Certainly level with Arsenal and in with a shout that we have a good second leg to look forward to.
And he was saying on Sky Sports News just the other day in the build-up to this that he felt he'd rather have 3 Premiership wins than 3 wins to win the Carling Cup, which I suppose you can understand.
Yes, in theory, yes, but I think they're almost safe now. Well, they are safe. I mean, let's face it, they're not going to go down.
He says they're not. He says 2 more wins.
Well, I think that's he's been a little bit protective there. I feel, you know, Wigan have done more than enough to justify their existence in the Premiership, and I think a top half finish is very likely. But I was at the Cup final, Carling final when Middlesbrough won it for the first time in their history, first trophy, and what it meant to the people. If Wigan can emulate that this year, I mean, it will be absolutely fantastic. So they do have a lot to play for, and maybe he was playing down the importance of this, but they can do both. They haven't decided to sort of throw in the towel anyway this season in any match. So, I mean, you know, it's still all on for them.
Right, well, we're very close to resuming play in the second half of the semi-final first leg in the Carling Cup. It's Wigan 0, Arsenal 0. Just 10 minutes gone in the second half, and we understand there are now exactly 2 minutes to go until we will kick off again in the second half. So let's go back to our commentary team, shall we? Chris Kamara and also Ian Crocker.
Well, Wigan not to blame for that problem. They've got the lights back on quick after a power failure in the general area. And Howard Webb will be ready to resume. Did that ever happen to you, Chris?
It certainly did, Ian. When I was at Luton, in the old First Division, which is the Premiership now, we were leading 1-0 at Tottenham, and the lights went out at about 20 past 4. We ended up losing the game 2-1. Paul Walsh, I remember, was one of the goal scorers for Spurs that night, and I think that was a deliberate act, but we could never prove it.
And And obviously he blamed the defeat purely on the lights. It's going to restart with Mike Pollett having it. Now where were we? 9 minutes and 15 seconds into the second half. We are ready to resume. No goal so far. Wigan's night has been disrupted by injuries and by floodlight failure. David Connolly and Lee McCulloch went off in the first half. Andreas Johansson and Paul Scharner coming on. And Paul Jewell down to 13 fit outfield players at the moment. He might have to make moves in the transfer market before the weekend, but he doesn't want to panic buy. Here we go again then. And it was just brewing nicely as well, the second half.
It was. Wigan started the half very well. And Arsenal very much on the back foot.
Reyes returns it to Segon. Kleb. Reyes. To Zeu. Wanted to get more distance on that, really.
It's poor. He's better than that. Proved it so many times and hurried that kick.
Chimbonda. What an outstanding signing he has proved to be. Bullard.
And he's the key for me, Jimmy Bullard. He's the one that can turn defence into attack when he's tackles in midfield, and still got that drive to get forward as well.
Roberts feeding Gary Teal. Almunia should have that and does. Just got caught by the trailing leg of Johansson.
It's great goalkeeping, that. Takes it right in his stride.
Reyes. Lamini. Lundberg. Signs that Arsenal might be getting there. Lamini. Kleb. Reyes deflected.
He's a great defender, Stefan Henchos. You just watch Henchos. When the balls are around, he doesn't turn his back, he throws everything at the ball. Takes all the pace off it for the goalkeeper.
Lundberg. Quincy Owusu-Abbey. Lundberg has run to the edge of the area. Gilberto. Poor from him. Kavanagh. Jason Roberts chasing this. Not got too many with him at the moment. And once again, he's held up en route by Senderos, and once again he has an inquisitive look at the official.
Well, how can it not be a foul? Senderos does not have the ball. All Senderos is doing is blocking his path, and he's every right to be disappointed with the decision. He knocks the ball, just watch there, and look, Senderos, look, just get around the front of him. And
he's 18-year-old Kerry Gilbert. And Lundberg fouled by Steve McMillan. Kleb on showing quick again. And Roberts and Senderos up against each other again too.
he just apologised to Senderos there, Jason Roberts, because his foot was high. No complaints from the big Swiss lad.
Gilbert. It's wrestled back for Wigan by Johansson, and it's broken kindly now for Bullard. Offside, Jason Roberts. And a bad collision.
It is a bad collision, and I think the goalkeeper's come off the worst. It really has. And Jason Roberts didn't look along the line at all. Jimmy Bullard could have held on to the ball because that's the amount of time he had, because that's how far Jason Roberts was offside, but the goalkeeper could take no chances. Arsene Wenger very upset at the challenge from Jason Roberts. You can see saying to Paul Jewell, Paul can't be responsible. His players out there half believing that he's onside, but if you watch, he goes very, very early once again, and there's no holding back.
The two managers exchanging their views as Almunia was caught by Roberts.
But that's the one thing you can't understand. You know, there's no intent. It's not deliberate. You know, Paul in no way can be responsible. You can see he's not happy with Arsenal's involvement.
On the bench for Arsenal tonight, the Estonian keeper Mark Poom, who has yet to make his Arsenal debut, but I'm sure Almunia will just about be okay.
Well, the one thing he's done all night tonight is be in the right position, Almunia. He is again, but gets hammered on the way.
His 10th game this season, the Spanish keeper, and all of them have come in cup competitions. Played a fair bit in the Champions League, for one reason or another. Almunia making his point to Howard Webb, who's yet to issue a card tonight and doesn't like to dish out too many.
Well, he's dealt really well with it, the referee. Really, really well. He can see it as it is, and Paul Jewell saw it as it was. There's only Arsene Wenger, and probably Almunia, who saw it any different.
Roberts, Bullard. Macmillan's throw along with Lee McCulloch. He's the longest serving player at Wigan. Both came from Motherwell. Dzeu with a power header. Bullard conceding the throw. We've gone past the hour mark, but it took a little longer than it might have done after that floodlight failure.
I think there might be a little bit of added time, don't you? Well, it certainly suited Arsenal this third period of the play since the lights went out. Sharpness and quickness to the ball that Wigan had just after half-time has deserted them a little bit.
Sharner making his debut for Wigan a little earlier than Paul Jewell might have liked after those first half injuries to Connolly and McCulloch. Chimbonda, away by Gilberto and then by Sigon. Kleb gets the free kick. £10 million signing from Stuttgart, still adapting to the English game. Roberts tussling with Senderos again. Well, they got past him, but then Sigon arrived.
It's been a feature to watch those two tonight. Senderos just about holding his own with Roberts.
Reyes, Sigon. Gleb. He's got away from Onsho, who's held him back there, and the free kick will be given. And Stefan Onsho will be summoned to Howard Webb.
I think this could be the first booking.
That's a costly one as well, because it's Stefan Onsho's 5th of the season. He will miss the match against Middlesbrough on Saturday week, as if Wigan didn't have enough injury problems. Onsho now suspended.
It was done by skill, pure skill. Fantastic turn from Gleb.
Reyes.
Well, he cannot be proud of his night's work so far.
Roberts. Offside, Jimmy Bullard.
Well, he's looking across the line, Jimmy Bullard. He can't believe it. He shouldn't be offside. That's the one thing you know. The position that he's in. It's hard to tell from the angle that we're looking at it there.
Years ago, Wigan Athletic were lying bottom of the Football League. They've not done too badly since. And Johan Juru has taken a knock there.
Well, he's left him alone most of the night, Jason Roberts. They've hardly come to terms with each other. Maybe he thinks, I'm not getting too much change out of Senderos. I better give a little try on that side, and it's a little push in the chest. And I think he probably winded himself when he landed on his back.
Born in the Ivory Coast, Johan Juru, but he is naturalised Swiss and has played for that country at under 19 level.
Well, he'll be all right. Oh, not too much to worry about Arsenal on that one. He'll get up. His grimace is worse than what's actually wrong with him, I'm sure.
This is the 3rd time that Arsene Wenger has taken Arsenal to a League Cup semi-final, but is yet to make it to the next step, the final. Maybe this will be his year in this competition. The only domestic competition that has so far eluded him during his reign at Arsenal. So Juru off at the moment. Gilberto sitting in his position. Teal.
Still going to happen for Reyes, even when Teal gives him a ball there for him to run away with. Just bounces off his foot and goes straight out of play.
Juru is back on. Johansson for Chimbonda. Gary Teal and Philippe Senderos both going for this.
That's the one thing he's done on more than one occasion. Senderos helped other people out, and he was there once again.
Chimbonda's throw, and Arsenal weren't picking up Kavanagh, but Juru just back on, dealt with the threat. Bullard. Deseu. Jimmy Bullard up against Kerry Gilbert, and it's a free kick for Wigan.
It's just a clumsy challenge. Bullard gets his body in the way perfectly, and then just watch, he's fishing around there, Gilbert, and hooks his ankles.
It's taken quickly by Bullard for Kavanagh. Had the sting taken out of it by a deflection, corner.
Yeah, well, Gleb, it's an important deflection from Gleb as well, because that was heading its way towards goal.
The Wigan fans in full voice now. Will they have a bit more to shout about here? Bullard takes it, and Shimbonder's header.
Well, he got up okay. It's right on his head. Just couldn't direct it down.
Has scored a couple of goals this season.
A fantastic leap on him.
Shana. Free kick. Arsenal are about to make a double change, more on that in a moment. On show. Says Fabregas, and Arturo Lupoli will be on soon. Gary Teal, it's actually gone out, it's going to be an Arsenal throw. The young Italian, Lupoli, scored after coming on against Reading in the 4th round. Arsene Wenger hoping he will have a similar effect here. And Fabregas also about to make an appearance. Bullard chasing this. Jason Roberts. Shana's cross. Johansson nearly.
He's got to throw himself. If he really wants to score, he's got to throw himself.
Here's Bullard. Dzeu. Offside, that'll be against Jason Roberts.
Watch this ball when it drops over the head of Senderos. Gets himself in a great position, Johansson, and he's just thinking, right, take off. Keeps himself basically on his feet, and it's a lame attempt to dive at it.
Really disappointing performance from Jose Antonio Reyes tonight. He's going to be replaced by Fabregas, who of course is only 18. It's very easy to forget that fact sometimes. He's made himself a regular in this side and shows maturity well beyond his years. And Quincy Owusu-Abe hasn't had much joy tonight either. He's replaced by the young Italian Lupoli, who is also 18 and who has scored 3 times before in this competition.
It's not very often you can kid the manager with performances, and I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that those 2 players have gone off. I've been kidding the manager, but the manager can see it's not their night.
Bullard's got a free kick. Wigan desperate to take a lead to Highbury in a fortnight, to have something to protect in North London. Kavanagh's free kick. Shimbonda leaping again, but Segon made contact. That's a blatant barge from Pleb on Shimbonda, and this could be promising for Wigan.
Well, that's a ridiculous foul to give away in such an important position. Back to the Arsenal goal, looking at the touchline.
Maybe a big moment in this match. Bullard decided to drill it, and Gilberto in the way.
Brilliant. It's a good job Gilberto was alert. Really was. Just watch Jason Roberts behind him. He just spins away and he's hoping that he misses that.
Wigan are certainly probing. Bullard's corner and Dzeu's header, and Ljungberg having to turn it over his own bar after Johansson had steered it back.
Well, was it going in? There's nobody on the far post when Dzeu heads his ball. It's heading towards goal. Was it going to go wide? Johansson didn't know where he was. He wasn't sure. Let's have a look from this angle. Was it already going in? No, it was just going wide. Johansson did well to keep it alive. It's
a cracking spell for Wigan, this. Bullard's corner. And that's come off Johansson. It's going to be a goal kick.
Well, it's just going wide, this, as we saw from that last angle from Deseu. There it is, it's just spinning away and wasn't even looking at the goal, Johansson. Maybe he was on the line. Just tried to keep it back in play.
Arsenal are taking off Kerry Gilbert, and they're going to bring on the Swedish under-21 international Sebastian Larsson. Gilbert has taken a knock on his knee. So the 20-year-old Larsson, who scored a penalty in the shootout at Doncaster in the quarter-final, and who also came on against Cardiff in the FA Cup on Saturday, figures again. Can Wigan make this period of pressure pay? As we head towards the last quarter of an hour. Turned away by Senderos. Kavanagh got away from Segon, but can't deliver. Gilberto in the way again.
Well, he didn't have a lot to aim for. There's only Jason Roberts in the box.
Kleb. Here's Paul Scharner. Gilberto covering again. And the free kick is going to be given against Scharner, who does like a tackle, we hear. So the referee played the advantage because Wigan... Well, because Arsenal were progressing, but not for long. Kick given against Johansson.
He doesn't do anything wrong.
He has already made a significant contribution in this competition this season. Andreas Johansson came on and scored twice in extra time against Watford in the third round. Wigan still haven't conceded a goal in this competition this season.
And obviously they're going to concede one tonight so far.
Kavanagh. Now, Johansson making the run, and Senderos gets just enough on it.
Well, he's been Arsenal's best defender by a mile.
Gary Teal. This is Scharner coming in! He scores on his debut! Paul Scharner makes the difference, and Wigan strike first in this semi-final showdown.
Well, what a brilliant header, but they go to sleep, Arsenal. That'll disappoint Arsene Wenger on the throw-in. Lev and Segon, nobody's picking up Teal. And look at that, how about that for an inviting ball across the box? It's beautiful. He's saying to Scharner, go on, stick your head on that and pop it into the back of the net. Almunia does brilliant, it comes right across the goal. He can't get enough on it to keep it out, and it nestles in the bottom corner. Scharner announces his arrival.
Never get the feeling he's going to become a cult hero here in no time. In fact, he might just have done already. Dyed a part of his hair blue and white, and now Scharner, the Austrian international, scores on his debut, forced to come on in the first half when Wigan lost Connolly and McCulloch to injury. Scharner has made the difference, and Wigan may yet have a lead to take to Highbury. Kleb for Fabregas, but Scharner sorts him out too. He actually supported Arsenal apparently when he was younger.
Well, the manager will take all the credit for those substitutions, even if they were enforced.
He cost £2 million from Brambergen. They very nearly joined Birmingham. Wigan hungry for a second goal, and they might need a second goal to take to London in a fortnight.
Well, there's only one team going to win this game in the second half. Was it going to be Arsenal? Mike Pollett's been a virtual spectator in the two periods that we've had.
Scuffed by Gilberto. Shana for Cavadar, and Shana is chasing this. So is Almunia.
Well, let's have another look. This beautiful header. Young Larson, not been on the pitch very, very long. He's got to contend with Shana's height and strength and power. Does he get up quick enough? Not at all, because Shana's desire outmuscles him. And the perfect finish.
Well, last time he played in England, he gave away a penalty for Austria against England. Tonight he has scored on his Wigan debut. Johansson showing desire. Oh, a mistake from Oncho, and there haven't been too many of them tonight. Kleb fell over the ball.
As you said, hasn't made too many mistakes, but you can see what it means to Wigan now. They're fighting for every single ball that drops.
It has been an extraordinary season for Wigan, and I get the feeling it could yet become even more extraordinary. Giroud has presented them with a throw. Paul Gill has made dreams come true at this club with Dave Whelan's help, the chairman over in Barbados at the moment, but he will have received that text to tell him that Wigan are in front. There were signs before the floodlight fell in that they were just about getting going. They managed to continue after the break in play in similar vein. Oncho taking no chances. Chimbonda. Teal. Oh, brilliant! Pascal Chimbonda on a raid. Roberts can't get there, and Orkan Bullard.
Well, he just played it in behind Pascal Chimbonda. You watch Senderos, he gives them a good opportunity to go inside the box. He just drops off, doesn't go advance anywhere near him. He's just hoping that he's in a covering position, and in the end he was, because he tries to play it inside him, and it's a very tricky ball.
Gone. Kleb and Shana likes to put himself about. As you can see by his hair, he's a bit of a character, as Paul Shana. Trying to get in here. Now the assistant referee had a pretty good view of that and kept his flag down.
Has to be a foul once again. Only contact with the man and not with the ball.
Bullard. Got the ball that time. Arsenal. Right, it was powered by Segon towards Kleb.
They've improved Arsenal since the goal went in, and they had to. Whether they'll consider taking any chances or not, Arsene Wenger might be quite happy with that 1-0 deficit.
Lamini. As we mentioned earlier, just over 12,000 at the JJB tonight, a hugely disappointing turnout, but full house pretty much guaranteed at Highbury, you suspect, for that second leg.
They've come a long way in such a short space of time. Wigan, we shouldn't be too critical of their support.
Yes, they've had a lot of games here lately, to be fair to them. Although Paul Jewell was not too impressed that after a full house against Manchester City here and a win at West Ham, they came back and somehow lost 5,000 fans in the process.
Yeah, it's soul destroying for him because of what he's producing for the football club. There isn't a full house mentality within the town itself just yet, but given time that might come.
Well, attendances have gone up at a very fast rate over the last decade. Just over a decade ago, Wigan were toiling in the bottom division, in danger of going out of the entire Football League. Lundberg's cross. Now they are mixing it with the elite.
Well, they're actually trying to get people forward now, Arsenal, because they're chasing it. They've moved up a little gear, but it might prove to Wigan's benefit. The extra space in behind once again.
Well, if it stays like this, Arsene Wenger might have to play a few more of his senior players. It might change yet, though. Could get worse for Arsenal, but Roberts overhit it, and anyway, Bullard would have been offside.
Oh, he wanted it early. Hasn't lost out too many times, Senderos, in that little battle with Roberts, but he did that time.
Lundberg's been tripped by Kavanagh.
Well, he made it obvious to the referee, Howard Webb, that he'd been fouled that time. Freddie Lundberg.
It's awkward for Dzeu, but he'll get another chance. Lamini way off target with that. Well, the second semi-final coming up tomorrow at Ewood Park from 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 for Blackburn against Manchester United. Lupoli. Flamini having to sidestep the ref. Larson. Fabregas. Gilberto. Almost turned into a decent move for Arsenal. Nearly, but not quite.
Oh, they look so much better now. They are on the offensive, Arsenal. Arsene Wenger will probably think, why didn't we start like this?
It's a foul by Lupoli, the young Italian. Wigan closing in on a first leg victory. Roberts. What they would give for a second goal, mind you. The first half, a bit of a non-event, but the second half has been a lot livelier. Primarily down to Wigan, that though, but here's Lundberg. It's gone under Lupoli's boot, and Shimbonda made sure that Lupoli wasn't getting in then. Both hurt.
Well, it's not a foul, but because he hasn't got the ball, Lupoli, but what he does, Chimbonda, he just plays Lupoli and not the ball.
There's at a cost as well, and that's the last thing that Wigan need. Yet another injury, but it Looks painful for Shimbonda. Wigan with 34 points in the Premiership already, a couple more wins will get them to that magic 40 mark. That's where Paul Jewell wants to be, perhaps by the end of this month. He doesn't want to have to be forced into buying players in the transfer window, although with the alarming rate of injuries they're picking up, he might have to do more business than he planned. Howard Webb advising Flamini to take a break.
I was just asking the referee about time added on. Are they wasting time? Howard says, I've got it under control.
Well, we're in the last minute of normal time. Shimbonda has proved to be one of the best buys in the Premiership this season. I wonder if Paul Shana might turn out to be another. Larson. It's going to be a minimum of 4 minutes added on, and stoppage time starting now. Kavanagh. Macmillan for Bullard. Johansson. Offside against Lundberg there. Bullard stretching for that one. Shimbonda. Shimbonda again. Teal. Johansson didn't make the dart for that. Almunia has it.
Well, it looks like we're going to stay as we are.
Maybe some Arsenal players who haven't figured in the League Cup for a good few years might see a bit of action in the second leg. Lupoli. And that typifies Stefan Oncho's performance tonight. Bullard. Gary Teal chasing, Senderos favourite.
The more you see of Senderos, the more you get to like him, the more he's growing in with experience, getting to know his position better. His covering positions at times are superb.
Kavanagh. Here's Hleb. And Macmillan did well. Roberto claiming a dive from Shana, but that's wasted a few more seconds from Wigan's point of view as they look to see this one out. Maybe sneak a second.
Well, that's the one thing about them, they are clever at set plays and they do work a lot on them. It doesn't look as if this one's going to go in the box. No, you're quite right, they've settled for that 1-0.
It remains to be seen whether that will be enough when Wigan go to Highbury in a fortnight, and of course Wigan will also be in Highbury for the last competitive match to be played there on the final day of the season. Arsene Wenger hoping to reach the League Cup final for the first time. Wigan playing in their first ever major cup semi-final, and once again they have done themselves proud, as they have done for much of this season. But then they did win the did go up in second place in the championship behind Sunderland, playing some really attractive football. It's all over. Paul Sharner with an amazing introduction to English football. Wigan had to do it the hard way. They lost David Connolly and Lee McCulloch to injuries in the first half. Sharner, one of the men who came on. And it was his header that has given Wigan a lead to take to Highbury.
They've got a great habit of grinding out results, Wigan. Even when they're not at their best, they've still managed to win. And people think they're going back to Highbury and it's a foregone conclusion. I wouldn't be too sure of that. Arsenal will have to work hard for everything they get. This fella tonight, Bullard, superb. Really has been the life and soul of Wigan.
Well, it's been a remarkable season so far for Wigan Athletic, and there could be even more amazing things to come. The first leg of this Carling Cup semi-final at the JJB ends Wigan 1, Arsenal 0.
Jimmy, satisfied with a 1-0 first leg lead?
Yeah, brilliant. Great result for us against Arsenal. Just enjoyed every minute of it, really. Cracking.
How well do you feel the team played on the night?
First half we weren't really at the races, I didn't think, but second half midfield got more stuck in and put our foot in, and we played as well. The big man made all the difference.
When you saw their team line up at the start, did you always feel you had a chance of winning it?
Me personally, I never look at the team really. I just look who I'm playing against and that's it. I get on the game, but I knew they didn't put their strongest team out as we was playing, but they're Arsenal, you know, they've got good players.
How easy was it to get back into your stride after the floodlight failure?
I found it all right myself because I kept running when the lights were off, but you have to get on with it. We kept warming in change rooms and come out, done the warm-up, and we just played as usual, you know.
Paul, we understand you're an Arsenal fan. Describe the feelings at scoring on your debut.
Sorry, Arsenal. But yeah, it was the first game was okay for me. I scored 1-0. I'm really happy, but congratulations for the team. The second half was brilliant.
Jimmy, does this make you favourites to go through to the final?
Got to play them again yet at Highbury, so that'd be a great game to look forward to. So we've got another game, so I won't put nothing past them. Just look forward to that.
Do you expect them to play a stronger side in the second leg?
I don't know. Whatever team they put out, you know, we're going to give it 100% and go to win the game.
Jimmy, great Wigan performance tonight. Great performance from you too. You are the Carling man of the match. Paul, can you present the champagne, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Paul. I'll celebrate that, little boys. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
See you.
Cheers, Paul.
Happy with that?
I'm not happy with the result. I mean, at half time I wasn't happy at all. I thought we were awful to say the least. I really was disappointed in our first half performance. Second half it was never going to be a great game. You know, the pitch wasn't conducive, and for some reason it didn't seem like a semi-final. We had to make it in a semi-final. I said to him at half time, "Do you lads play in semi-finals every year? Because it looks that way, as if you don't care." And responded second half, got amongst them a bit more. We were disjointed because we lost two players, two forward players. So credit to the players second half. They give it everything they had, and I thought we deservedly won the game.
Yeah, between two early injuries and then the floodlight failure, the manager earns his money with motivation and changes tonight.
Well, I got 50 pence for the meter, didn't I? But I think up to now, I think the floodlights going out were about the best thing that happened to the game, really, because it was a pretty average game. But second half, we were so much better than we were first half, and it pleases me. We showed character with a team that was, as I said, disjointed. And I was pleased the big man, the goal, is the showing second half what we're all about. Desire, he just seen the ball was going in the back of net, and the centre half was going with it, and it was a great goal.
Yeah, you got high hopes for him then from what you saw from him tonight? Yeah,
I just thought we needed a spark, I was going to put Damien France on. I just thought he might just give us a spark with Shana, with his enthusiasm and his energy and his desire, and I think it turned out that way. He's a centre half, but he can play in there, and I thought we lacked a little bit of energy, and he did well.
There was a meaty challenge by Robertson Almunia in the second half, and you and Arsene exchanged words. What was said there?
Well, to be honest, I did an Arsene Wenger because I didn't see it. because I turned away to because it was offside, and Arsene said he left his foot in there, and I just said to Arsene, OK, well, you look after your team and I'll look after mine.
Will you accept that people will make you favourites to go through now?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's half-time. We're 1-0 up against Arsenal, who are a fabulous team. I would imagine go to Highbury, they'll make 1 or 2 changes. We've still got it all to do. But I said before the game, all I'm interested in is going to Highbury with a chance. And we've given ourselves a chance, although, you know, it's going to be difficult.
Thanks, Paul.
Pleasure.